Alrighty. Well, yeah, Troy, welcome to We Built This Brand. It's great to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely glad to have you with us. And typically on the show, we're here to talk to you about entrepreneurs and the creatives that are getting into this space. And yeah, it's just exciting. Today, we're actually in a different location. We're here in Los Angeles, which is quite cool. And I've got a co-host with me today, Adhrucia.
Hi guys, how are you? Thanks for having me, Chris.
Absolutely, Adhrucia. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And today we're getting to talk to Troy Palmquist. He's a realtor, speaker, and author. And Troy, we're really glad to have you and just want to talk to you about building your business, building your personal brand, building everything that has made you successful. So we'd just love to start by just giving us a little bit of your background and where you got started.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's great to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too.
I've been in the industry, the real estate space, going on 23 years. So I got in at 20, so you could do the math on the age. I stumbled into real estate accidentally by getting my hair cut next door to, a real estate office, and was looking at a house in the window, and one thing led to another, and ended up getting a job there at 20, and really kind of learning a lot about the industry right then and there, and kind of worked my way through and doing different stuff over the last 23 years. But it was not something I thought I was going to stick with. But it turns out I love it and wouldn't do a different sector for a career.
That's just so always interesting when someone says, I'm not so sure that I wanted to stick with it, but I stuck with it. I was just giggling at the prospect.
I mean, I used to love to argue with my mom. I still do, but I thought law was like the right thing, but I hated school. So real estate, you still get to negotiate a lot and have all those conversations. And so, yeah, best of both worlds.
That's amazing.
Now, did you get a law degree, or you just were pursuing that path? Okay.
No, I did like a semester of college and said it's just not the right thing for me. Cool. So I barely graduated high school, and just the education part, like growing up, was a harder piece for me. So I knew that like the book smart versus like being able to take the test, law school was just never going to happen.
Yeah. So you've been in this industry now for 20 plus years. What are you doing today? Like, where is your focus now?
My focus today is a little bit differently. So in 2020, I had cancer. Thyroid cancer, so it's the easy one to get. But I started to look at life differently, different perspective. And instead of being in the spot where I wanted to build for myself and build for go build another brand or build a brokerage or a tech company, I wanted to be in a spot where I could really control my destiny and the time and the energy that I had, because I lose energy towards the end of the day. And it's not something I can control. Like, I could fall asleep with a Red Bull in my hand and be done for the day at 7:00. But I wanted to control like the time and the energy and where I was spending it. And, in the real estate industry, your time and your energy is what people think is unlimited. And so now what I've kind of like turned my energy and attention to is to be able to help other companies, help real estate founders that are building their brokerages, or team leaders, or technology companies that are, looking at how do we grow to the next level. So I get to help with that, that growth part, that creative part, that, how you built it type stuff, where I still get to go and feel like I'm building something greater than myself. But what I really want to do with the time that I have and the energy that I have is to be able to create a lasting impact for other people. And be able to provide value. So like, even on a call like this or a video like this today, what's the one piece of information that we can give somebody watching that they can implement today that can change their lives for tomorrow?
Action items.
When you look at technology, you look at this space, I think there's a lot of ways that you can provide value, provide help, provide knowledge, share, that can really help people get off the ground.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So, I mean, obviously cancer is a very serious thing, and it changes your perspective when you're confronted with it. I mean, personally, I'm even dealing with that in my own family right now, so I know how that is. So what was that pivot then from, you said real estate obviously, but then you mentioned tech companies. What was that pivot into tech companies? How did that transition happen?
So I've had 2 real estate brokerages. I started the first one in May of 2017, and then it had an acquisition in January of 22. It got acquired by a larger brokerage in the Los Angeles area. And then I started another one like an idiot. And, so with that, I preface that because when I was in real estate, I was always looking at different technology. And you get approached by multiple companies like all the time. Hey, do you want to check this CRM out? Do you want this new lead source? Do you want to do this? Do you want us to pick up your open house signs? It just goes on and on and on. So for me, it was really, I was always looking at the new things. And it seemed to me that I was giving the salesperson on the other side more feedback on the product than like actually like signing up for it. Like, you should do this, or have you thought about doing this? And that free advice.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing people actually change their roadmap of what they were doing based on like a conversation. And it wasn't until like a while later, I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. And you can actually make money doing this and help more people, right? Because again, my goal in like my career over the past 20 years, I want to help as many people have a positive experience buying and selling real estate as possible. Well, if you're helping more people, you can do that. Like, I knew what my cap was selling houses. I knew what the cap was selling at the brokerage. And now I feel like I'm able to help more. So if I'm able to help these people understand why I wouldn't sign up to buy your product, but here's maybe why I would, like if you can change this and this, there's a bigger impact you can have there. Because I think a lot of founders, particularly in the real estate space, because I think they see real estate as an open wallet for a lot of stuff. They found a company based on a thesis that they have that the problem might not really be there.
Yeah.
And it's because it's a product that they want to build.
Yeah.
Like, is it really the right thing? Like, I always wanted to build Tinder for real estate. Swipe left to go to see this property, swipe right, and if it matches with like my significant other, cool, we'll see the house.
I love that.
And two different companies have tried it and it hasn't ever like picked up.
Yeah.
Well, why? Like, so, if you look at it in this aspect of you're solving for a problem that actually exists, and that's where I think a lot of the great companies out there, there's a new one out there called Shiloh. Justin's the founder. Amazing concept, because he was having this problem in his own team, in his own brokerage. He solved for that problem. You have Real Scout, founded by Andrew Flackner, like similar thing. Saw a problem, built for the problem.
Right.
And that's where over and over again you see these amazing tech companies founded by people that were actually solving for a problem they had.
In the current landscape, when a lot of the people probably watching this are going to be people who are in real estate, starting in real estate, trying to build real estate businesses. As someone who's been there, done that, grown something amazing, and is now looking to the future, if you were to tell real estate agents who are trying to decide how to create some sort of structure using tech around their business, what are the maybe 1, 2, or 3 points you would tell them to focus on researching, whether it be AI, whether it be, we were talking about chatbots earlier, whether it be streamlining infrastructure? What is the space that you think not enough people are focusing on in the tech integration to real estate that they should be paying attention to?
So if I was starting out or advising an agent that was starting out, I'd tell them to pick up the phone. Technology is never going to replace the human interaction.
Right.
And the real estate space is 100% a relationship-based business. You build trust. We're helping people with their largest investment of their life most of the time. That shouldn't be left to technology to do that. So I think that when you think about that, I think the best pieces of technology for the real estate agent is the CRM.
Yeah.
And people say, what's the best CRM? Well, the one that you're going to use.
Yeah.
Hands down. And from there, then it's like, you know, what's the email deliverability? What's the nurture stuff? I read an article about somebody saying that like email marketing has been dead. But if you bring it back to life within your database and you're providing value to your database, then they're going to be there for you when they go to buy or transact in real estate. But you can't just be like, do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a house? It's like, here's my favorite salad dressing. Just tried it. Here's a bottle. Like, or, you know, here's what's going on in the local market, or here's what's going on for the 4th of July. Right. You're providing value outside of the transaction. And that's where I think agents really can utilize that stuff.
I love that. I love the refocusing on the things that work instead of getting distracted sometimes by all this invasion of opportunities and things that you should be paying attention to. We forget that the most important part of a lot of our businesses is having a captive audience and being able to go back to them and being able to build a long-term relationship with them.
It is a relationship-based business. I mean, but so much as that is what we do in general. Mm-hmm. My wife and I just bought a new car this weekend. And what did we do? We went back to the person that we bought it from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, because we knew what she wanted. It's a relationship. This industry, so much of life is all relationship based. And you lose sight of that and you think that technology or this new lead source or any of that stuff is going to replace it. It's not going to happen. You get a Zillow lead, right? You search Zillow, you probably search Redfin, wherever you are. If you're searching and you get this inbound call from a stranger that wants to see a property, the best thing that you can do is go turn around the camera, hold the phone up and say, hey, send them a text message afterwards. Hey, it was so great meeting you. I wanted to put a face with the voice and the name. I look forward to helping you with your transaction.
Done. I've signed with Troy. He's now my real estate agent.
But now it's the relationship is there. It's not just this phone call.
It's so important.
Technology isn't going to do that.
It is not.
So utilizing technology in the ways that can actually help you do business is where I think that comes in, where it's nurturing. Now you've got all these new email like things. Cool. How busy is your inbox really that you need an email system to go and respond and help you think of what you want to respond? She's not a fan. Like you mentioned chatbots.
Yep.
Cool. The average real estate agent sells 3 to 5 transactions a year max. You mean to tell me you need to put something on the website or on your signs that the person can go and chat with you? Yeah. I just haven't been sold on that yet. Like, why?
Yeah, I
like
get that.
when I was selling, I carried a lot of houses for sale and I had online chat. You know where the online chat went?
Directly to you?
Directly to me. And if I didn't respond at midnight, now, and I know you put this on there and that actually goes on the live thing. I'm going to get a lot of pushback on that.
Yeah.
And again, I actually talked to a company last week that I talked to for the first time. And I'm like, wow, what you're saying is what it's doing is actually pretty cool. Because I've heard the horror stories of like somebody's online and they get the chat and it sets the appointment. Well, the agent never got the notification that there was an appointment set to see a house, and it didn't go to the listing agent to set the appointment. Buyer shows up at the house. Hey, nobody's here. Yeah. Well, that's because the chat went and did more. And when you look at real estate, there's so many different things that we can get in trouble for with fair housing, being saying that it's walking distance for those that can't walk. That's a fair housing violation. Or it misquotes square footage, or it misquotes that it's on a sewer, but it's really on septic.
You're taking on a liability.
You're going to leave that up to chance by an AI bot.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, and I think the technology's evolving. Like I had a suit made and it's green. And I was speaking at a conference and I wanted to like people to understand that technology is evolving so fast, it's actually evolving in dog years. Mm-hmm. Well, the suit's got dog liner inside of it and it's little puppies. But like you think about it now and you think that how fast is technology evolving? It's in dog years. Like technology that started a year ago that hasn't advanced with it is stuck, right? If you're in the real estate industry and you're not like continually looking at the technology that you're using, like real estate agents, again, I mean, they'll look at stuff and they'll buy it. Like I wrote an article a few months ago and it was that like we need to not add more technology to what we do right now, because again, it's evolving so fast. Like, stick with what you have and actually use it. But remember, fundamentally, picking up the phone in this industry is the best way to do it. Same thing.
Where can people read your articles?
A lot of them published on inman.com. And then I republished a lot of them on troypalmquist.com, which is my name.
Okay. And as far as being an author goes, you're also writing books. Is that correct?
I've written one that was in 2020. It was 2019, I think. It was called Independent. And it was about the independent real estate model versus like the franchise or the big boxes, and how independent. But no, I'm working on like getting myself to write a newsletter. It's been a long process, but that is slowly in the works. Thinking about writing on Substack. Just can't get myself.
We have a publishing division if you want to publish that next book.
Maybe. But yeah.
That's cool. LinkedIn, by the way, really good for newsletters.
Oh, I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn rocks. I think it's one of those things that people don't really understand how to use.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of value in LinkedIn, especially with your network. And being able to share your thoughts on something and connect with people. Way better than Instagram or Facebook.
100%.
Especially if you're thinking about like, where your target demographic is. If you're trying to deal with high net worth individuals and market to them, they're not on Instagram. Like, you just, as much as the conversation is around social media, like, you want to connect with people, it's through LinkedIn. And even when I was prospecting and I would go after like expired listings, it was very much through LinkedIn. Because I knew that the high fluent, that they were on there because they were professionals. And I knew that if I sent them a message saying, hey, I didn't want to call, I didn't want to bother you, I know your time's valuable, I was going to reach out through you.
Chris, do you have a final question, or can I ask one?
You can go right ahead.
Are you sure?
I've got one more final one, but you go right ahead.
I just wanted to ask, as you're talking about tech and tech integrations and going back to the old school personal touch, tell me how that when we look at the world of social media and multiple points of contact, how has marketing changed in your world over the last 4 or 5 years? I think that's something that a lot of people who are real estate agents are trying to tackle, and me as a consumer constantly trying to understand like where I'm finding houses, how I'm finding new real estate. What do you think is your one point that you would want to drive home about the changes of marketing?
Well, I think a lot of that's changed over the last month, with some of the stuff with Compass and some of the stuff with Zillow and this. I wrote an article published July 5th, if you want to go look at it, but it's all about the industry infighting of what's going on right now, with our exclusive listings and our off-market listings. I think but to answer your question, you got to market in the way that's authentic to you.
That's great advice.
If you're an Instagram person and your sphere of influence is on Instagram and you're authentic with it, do it and go all in. Back to the newsletter. I recently saw that Constant Contact has this amazing platform for real estate. A/B test, you can do all this stuff within the newsletter. I'd never known about it. But it was one of the things that like got me excited about doing that. So to look at the way where the newspapers were before, even 5 years ago, the newspaper were still a little relevant. And I saw this empty box. There were Homes and Lands magazines was a big way like that you would market your house. And they were like the Bible. Like you wanted to be in it, depending on what market you were in. It was empty. And I was thinking to myself, and I went on Instagram and I posted it, and it's going to turn into an article now about about marketing. Because if that's dead, where did the views go? Because again, it really defines like your marketing plan by who you're trying to get to. But again, I think that the authenticity piece is the critical part of how you reach the person that you're trying to reach.
Excellent advice.
I think that's great advice. I mean, that personal relationship means a lot in any business, and I think that especially when it comes to buying a high value product to begin with, like a house or a car or anything, I mean, that relationship really matters. So that's awesome. Well, Troy, thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Before we wrap up, one last question I always like to ask. This is We Built This Brand. Question I always like to ask at the end is, what brand do you admire the most right now?
What brand do I admire the most right now? I don't know. I think there's a lot of brands out there that are doing stuff really well. I think there's brands that I would probably not ever buy that I follow on Instagram that I really think that their marketing and what they're doing with their Instagram is unique in ways that it captures my attention to go and figure out, like, what is this brand doing?
I do that too.
I think there's some of the major big brands are kind of, I think, trying to figure out what they're doing with how to resonate and be relevant. And then I think you look at just some of the, like, your local mom and pop stores that are out there that are crushing it with their individual, like, marketing plans and the ways that they reach their customers. So I don't know if there's one that necessarily sticks out to me. I think Formula One's doing a really good job right now with their marketing.
100%.
And their partnership with, like, Lego and how they're expanding into younger demographics and different demographics other
Very
than, like,
smart.
very much the European race fans. I think Lego's done a really good job, I think, with that. And I don't know who really drove the relationship, no pun intended. But I think that's a really unique way that they're doing stuff right now. I think Lego probably, for almost being bankrupt, 20 years ago and going out of business, to turning around to having this massive organization and operation off of little bricks.
Yeah.
You look at even now their relationships with Jurassic Park and all these other things that are coming out. We bought that silly little tuxedo cat, and my son had to have it to put together, and the thing was a nightmare. But I think that's one of those brands that you look at that's like evolve or die, that's evolved really well.
Yeah. My son's at that age where he'll be like, Dad, here's the McLaren Formula One Lego set. We need to build this.
Yeah.
And by we, he means me.
Yeah. Well, my wife does a lot of the Legos in the house. I did the Technic, like, water dumping plane, and I swore that off ever again with the Technics. Like, it's just way outside of my but
that's cool. Well, thank you so much again, Troy, for coming on. Where can people connect with you if they want to learn more about you and your writing and
I think
you're
LinkedIn's
into?
Probably one of the best places. Troy Palmquist. My Instagram is a love-hate relationship. The stories are a little more fun, especially during school. My son and I do a jam session in the school parking lot from 80s and 90s and early 2000s, so you get a little bit of that flashback to nostalgic music.
Awesome. Troy, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right.
Thanks
take care.
for being here.